Meanwhile, Garba Shehu, former senior special assistant on media and publicity to Buhari, speaking ahead of the launch of his memoir, according to the president, Lessons from a Presidential Spokesperson's Experience, stated that Buhari left office broke, but with his integrity fully intact. Shehu emphasized that no one can credibly accuse Buhari of accepting bribes during his 8-year tenure. Let's take a look before we take a reaction.
Integrity of Buhari, how did it differ? As I said, you had integrity. Well, let me not preempt the content of my book. No, so that you will buy it. Otherwise, I'm not going to make a full disclosure. But did I tell you? I said, this book is about what did he even eat? What did he wear sometimes? He thought Buhari will appear for interview. What would he wear? Or the gift, somebody offers him exotic kind of gift. What did he do? Did he take or did he reject? I don't want to preempt the content of my book. But his lifestyle exemplifies personal integrity. And I'm happy that nobody, up to today, nobody can say, I've given bribe to Buhari. There's corruption in the country. There was corruption in our government. I know there is corruption. However, as a person, Buhari was above all of that.
All right, Rufai, Garba Shehu here saying that he doesn't want to preempt the content of his book. I don't know if you remember one time we talked about wanting to read Buhari's memoir. We were urging the president to actually write a book, but I guess it would be nice to see some of the content of his book. But let me just take a reaction, and then before I come to you. This is from Olufemi, who wrote, Garba Shehu, the former spokesperson to ex-President Buhari, recently claimed that the Buhari administration ushered in a culture of personal integrity in governance. One cannot help but question whether Mr. Shehu truly comprehends the meaning of the word integrity. This is the same administration under which over 3 trillion naira was printed and squandered with little accountability. To speak of integrity in such a context is not only intellectually dishonest, but an affront to the sensibilities of the Nigerian people. Garba's habitual verbosity, often detached from substance, renders his declarations more farcical than factual. Well, Garba Shehu appeared on our nightly news program Newsnight, where he claimed that President Buhari had his personal style and did not like media chats, preferring instead for his work to speak for him. He stated that Buhari admitted to being slow and even joked about it. However, he maintained that Buhari followed due process, noting that Nigerians are impatient. Shehu also addressed Buhari's perceived aloofness, saying that the former president was very aware of the state of the nation during his time in office. Let's take a look.
This thing about Buhari being unaware, it is totally misplaced. If you permit me, I would say that he perhaps would pass as the most aware president Nigeria has ever had. And I give you this example. When we started with him, because I was coming from, as you said, a Atiku campaign, we would pack newspapers in the morning. We'll go to Buhari's house for breakfast, and then tell him that this is what the radio stations have said, this is what we picked on the talk shows, and this is what the newspapers are saying. Believe me, by the time you got to him, he would have read ahead of you. And I used to say this, and people thought I wasn't serious. I was saying that if Nigerians knew the fastest way they could get to the president at that time with a problem, it was not to go through the civil service who write memo and file and go to the press, talk to the television.
All right, Buhari, the most aware president. You know, we used to have those pictures of Buhari with his toothpick in a picture, and the cartoonist made viral. But I mean, your thoughts on everything Garba Shehu has said?
You know why I'm laughing?
Go ahead.
Garba Shehu forgets that this is just 8 years ago. We were here. We were here. 2.5 years ago. Okay. Maybe I'm fast forward there. We were here.
Yes.
We experienced Buhari. Most aware Guinea. No, I'm sure he wanted to say aware, not aware. Aware is fasting, is different from aware. How was he aware of? Was he aware of the corruption scandal that heralded COVID and allegations here and there? He was aware. What about the economic impropriety when we printed over how many trillion in ways and means?
Yeah.
Was he aware? What about the insecurity and economic decadence? Was he aware?
I assure you, he was aware.
He was aware.
Yes.
And you see this attitude of saying he wasn't corrupt, but there was massive allegations of corruption under him. Let me read headlines today for you. Be here. Garba Shehu say aware. Buhari was aware. This is not me reporting, or the cable online newspaper reporting. A witness of EFCC has narrated how the former aviation minister awarded contracts to his relatives. Awareness. He was aware of Nigerian Air. You know how we condemn Nigeria. Didn't Festus Keyamo, that served in Buhari's cabinet, when he came to Tinubu's cabinet, he said, no, I'm not going to go ahead with Nigerian Air Wahala. So, does that make him aware? You see, this attempt at revisionism, to be able to gaslight us into telling us that what we know before we don't know. Is this not the same Garba Shehu that had to apologize after the killing of farmers in Zabamari for misconstruing numbers? Does he think we've forgotten? So you are telling us he was aware. He was aware, so we were the stupid ones. We don't have sense. I'm not surprised though. They will come. They will push every attempt forward at revisionism. But it no go work. Because we here will be the chroniclers of history. He was aware. He was so much aware and NSAS happened. Is it because we covered that? We forget in a hurry NSAS happened under Buhari. And the atrocities and the mayhem that happened there. Oh, that was aware. But you know what hurts me the most about Nigeria? Where we think Nigeria can be going better, it keeps getting bad. President Tinubu has come in now, and when you compare economic parameters, people will even compare that things were even better under the same Buhari that we said he squandered everything than President Tinubu. Right. That is an ongoing administration. That's the pain I have with the country as we speak today. Because the livelihood of people through the devaluation has gotten worse off. Interest rate all-time high. Businesses are complaining. So the question is, when are the average Nigerians going to get a reprieve? That's just my question. But please, don't gaslight us.
Yeah, I mean that's the rhetoric online about
when we're telling him to speak up during NSAS for how many days? Did he speak up?
Yeah, he also talked about the fact that Buhari didn't want to give out media chats because he wanted just his work to speak for him as well. You saw that conversation as well.